It's time for world politics. We'll see what's going on around the world and what's taking place in many places, including over there in Canada and around in definitely Ukraine and Israel. So I'm gonna bring in Pastor Star and see what he's got on his mind here on world politics and all along those lines, because we know there's a lot taking place in the world, and we know a lot of people are excited even about the fact that apparently the president got a DoorDash order and he tried to get the young lady to comment on the whole notion of trans issues, and she totally avoided that. She also wouldn't say whether she voted for him or not and everything like that. So he was, I guess, trying to make good on his promises of no taxes on tips and everything like that. Because I think he gave her $100 tip, and I guess she didn't have to have taxes on that and everything like that. So how are you doing, Sasha? How's life treating you? And what have you been up to in the last few hours?
Thank you. Very, very good. And I'm following international news as much as I can. And it seems to me that finally there is a purpose why Trump wants to leave NATO. Not that he can, but he definitely wants to do it. And one of the reasons is just the last couple of days, what's happened is that the president of Turkey, Mr. Erdogan,
Mm-hmm.
is uh, thinking about invading Israel.
Oh, well.
Israel is an ally of the United States, as we know, but Turkey is also a member of NATO. So if that would happen, how US would orient itself? I mean, it will help Turkey to defeat Israel, or it will help Israel to defeat Turkey. How does is it going to work? I really don't know. So that's definitely, um, even in my opinion, the chances are slim that Turkey would attack Israel, but it's possible. I can't rule it out.
No, you can't rule anything out these days in times. There's so many conflicts around the world and everything like that. Seems like every time you turn around, there's a new war going on and everything like that, even though the principal ones are the one in the Middle East and the one in Ukraine and Russia. But there are a number of others, including some on some of the African continents. And I think Pakistan just got through with their war, or at least they're in a ceasefire now, but who knows, they may start it back again. But it seems like every time you turn around, there's a new war that is taking place in all along those lines. I know that definitely a lot of folks have been excited by this. Some people are not excited by this. So definitely it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out and everything like that. So definitely it'll be interesting to see how this goes and what folks' thoughts are about a number of these issues and all along those lines. Do you ever think we'll have a time in society when there are no wars and everything like that? I know that that's some wishful thinking of many people, but I don't know that it's ever a reality. So, what is your
It's
thought?
not, no, it is not reality because human nature is such that it needs conquest, it needs to prevail to overcome difficulties and the enemy, defeat enemy, and it's coming from 100,000 years ago, and so on. So it's a human nature. So some people are more aggressive than others, but that's how it's all done. Some countries are more aggressive. I've seen recent information that U.S. started the new wars 3.5 times every year.
Yeah.
U.S. would start a new war. So U.S. is definitely on the front of the whole aggressiveness. They have the biggest army and the biggest economy, so it's all come together really well. It's justified.
Yep, there was a slight glitch with the end stream and the begin stream at the beginning of your Ricane show. So I heard you say, even though I don't know how much the people got it because it might not have been covered and everything. I know they missed your missing Ivan and everything like that. But I was wondering, you mentioned the fact that you didn't really buy this capture of the American soldier and everything like that. I think that was the first minute that might have been missed and everything like that. But I was just wondering your take on that and if you could share that with our audience since it's pretty much the same audience and all along those lines.
Mm.
So
Marco, could you formulate your question one more time? I think I missed something.
no, you were saying that in your earlier show, the Ukraine show, how you didn't really think that there was much of a chance that soldier had been rescued. Did it sound like a movie theme and
Oh,
everything like that?
I see what you're talking about. Well, there are many problems, in my opinion, with the story. First of all, it was a plane
Hmm.
was damaged, uh, and both pilots had catapulted away from the plane to save their lives. So normally they would land, I mean, 10, 20, 100 meters apart. No, apparently they landed something like 10 kilometers apart. And one of them was rescued right away. Another one was rescued several days later. And he was wounded, and yet he climbed the mountain of 6,000 feet high and was hiding there. That story. Then they sent 10 or 11 warplanes and helicopters, and some of them were damaged, and some of them American had to destroy. So Iranians wouldn't have hold them. To me, it was attempt to grab the enriched uranium, and it failed. There's also history. It was a story about the pilot and rescue story. Come on, give me a break. I don't believe one can.
Hey, it looks like speaking of politics, it looks like Johnson says he told Trump to take down the image of president as Jesus. I know he's kind of claimed that that was an image of him as a doctor. It looked like it was very much the images that we see of Jesus in a lot of paintings and everything like that. But he was trying to claim that it was really just him trying to be the doctor of the world, that he was trying to give good medicine and all along those lines. But I didn't buy it. But I was wondering your thoughts because even Stephen A. Smith, who is a sports commentator, was saying that he is a pathological liar and everything like that. So I just wanted your take on this notion of him. And apparently, he's in a whole debate with the Pope and everything like that.
That's an interesting story, by the way, because Trump, if you would imagine him as Jesus, although his name is Donald, but okay, you can change Donald to Jesus, vice versa, perhaps. But he has one advantage, at least that all his biography is quite well known from his books, from the stories, or whatever. With Jesus, there's one problem: people can't figure out what he was doing between the age of 12 and 30. 18 years are completely, I mean, it's like in a vacuum or it's never existed. And I was looking at stories from Luca and Matthew and St. Matthew and St. John. And so nobody explains what Jesus was doing between the age of 12 and 30. 18 years. I mean, so Donald, in that respect, probably is just Australian, probably at least.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know that there's been a lot of talk about how much power the Donald has and everything like that because he has the House, he has the Senate, at least until the midterms and all along those lines. But there has been some conversation that now they're saying the Senate GOP is preparing to fill potential Supreme Court vacancies and everything like that. So I just wanted your take on this because there could even be a more dominant Republican court if they get their way. So definitely some of the leaders of the Republican caucus are saying that they are thinking that there are some people that may be retiring, and some of them may be Democratic folks and everything like that. So I guess they're preparing to even further stack the court in their favor. So I just wanted your thoughts around this.
There is a problem with this existing Supreme Court is although many judges were appointed by Trump or the Republicans before Trump, but they're not very loyal to Trump. In some cases, they're ruling against Trump. So I would disqualify all the Supreme Court and elect a new Supreme Court, which would be 100% loyal to Trump and the future Republican presidents and so on. So I think that's what Trump did.
I think that's what he wants to. There's a popular fundraising campaign for the Democrats. I know I get letters from them all the time as well. It's called Act Blue and everything like that. But apparently, the House GOP is attacking them. So, three Republican committee chairs are seeking additional documents from the platform as part of their probe into whether they accepted foreign donations. So, we know some of these platforms, whether it's Turning Point or Act Blue, that they get money from other people. So, House Administration Chair Brian Steele, who's a Republican from Wisconsin, House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio, and House Oversight Chair James Comer, a Republican from Kentucky, sent a letter to Act Blue CEO Regina Wallace Jones on Tuesday, requesting additional documents under subpoena issued last year in their investigation into whether the platform knowingly accepted political donations from foreign nationals. So it looks like they're going after them and everything like this. And this is a major fundraising wing of the Democratic Party. I know that Obama was very big in that and everything like that. So they're even pointing to a New York Times report that Act Blue, then outside counsel, was concerned that Wallace Jones may have misled congressional investigators in a 2023 letter to Sales Committee regarding Act Blue's vetting of foreign donations. So I just wonder, is this another attempt Trump going after his enemies? Because it looks like he's going after the Democrats and everything like that, because he's always called for probes into the donor platform, particularly Act Blue.
Well, he is in his element. He has to go after his enemies. He has a lot of enemies. So he has to crush them all one by one. So he has to crush all his enemies 24 hours a day. That's what he has to do.
Yeah. And apparently Trump is also urging GOP unity to push forward key spy power vote. So I guess he's wanting to get some stuff with the spy power. So in opposed to Truth Social, we know how much he loves Truth Social. Apparently, according to Rick, he was up to it like 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock last night or 2 nights ago and everything like that. But he called lawmakers to set aside their divisions over the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. So President Donald Trump on Tuesday urged Republicans to stick together on a key procedural vote tied to the future of U.S. surveillance powers, wading directly into a high stakes fight over the government's intelligence authority. So I knew, did you work in intelligence when you were overseas in either Ukraine or Russia and everything like
Yeah.
that? So what is your take on this whole notion of surveillance and what they want to do? Because it seems like they are trying to get a extension and to get even more power of who they can surveil and everything like that. We know that there was COINTELPRO and there were a number of other things where the government had surveilled people in the past. But I just wanted your take on this notion of maybe increased surveillance.
Yes, they have to increase surveillance. I would say 10, maybe even 20 times as much. And only through surveillance you will have loyal people and everybody will love him and everybody will be very happy citizen as a result.
Yeah, that makes sense. One of the reasons that this show and this network started was because of COVID and everything like that. But there's a new political poll that made a stark finding last month in a survey of people. So apparently, people are having some issues with COVID because this new poll is finding the country divided on vaccines. So this is a new poll that was reported earlier today and everything like that. So last month, in a survey of more than 3,800 Americans about a variety of health issues, vaccine skepticism was widespread. So there are a lot of people that are still skeptical about the vaccine. I know that Nick says that a lot of these people are foolish, the founder of this particular network. And like I said, there was even some shows that we had in the past that dealt with medicine, and we still have medicine, and that Dr. Patmos does. And we had a lot of doctors, including some from India back in the day and everything like that. But are you shocked that there's still a lot of people that are skeptical about the vaccine? Because when I hear these kind of news stories, I'm shocked because the pandemic was it started 6 years ago and everything like that, and you still got people out there that are thinking that it's either a hoax or that the medicine isn't working or a number of other things as well. So I'm just wondering, are you shocked when you hear about these people that are skeptical of the whole notion of the vaccine?
Not surprising. Yeah, I agree because the medicine is a science, and we have doctors and scientists who can a lot of authority to pinpoint one vaccine over the other, and maybe no vaccines if that's the case. I'm surprised that the people without any basic knowledge of the subject are making up their mind instead of listening to professionals. I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
I'm surprised too, but yeah, they said that a lot of folks are not listening to the professionals that they the way that they should and everything like that. And I just don't get it and everything like that because a lot of people are, I guess, being overly skeptical and everything like that about what is being told to them. But I mean, they're being given solid advice and given solid information. But apparently, there's a lot of folks that are not wanting to deal with it and everything like that. So definitely, it looks like in this case, Robert Kennedy may be winning and everything. So it found a plurality of American adults question the safety of the vaccines and how effective they are and everything like that. So I guess there's a lot of people that are out there in that MAGA land that have questions about the vaccine and have questions about a number of other things as well. So I just don't get it because, like you said, I think that they would be trusting of what science is telling them and everything like that. But I don't get it. But maybe it's not for us to understand.
Yeah, I agree. When a few years ago in Canada, it was a mandatory vaccination, and a few people here and there that were against it, and they wouldn't vaccinate themselves, but very few. I'm talking about like 1 in 100, very few.
Very few we're dealing with. I wish Toby was still here. I know he was here when we first started, but he bounced off. I think he was traveling, probably dealing with some of his family and stuff like that. But I did see an article where apparently the FAA, and that's what I was going to ask him. Maybe I'll ask him about it tomorrow as well. Is recruiting video game people to help them with their crisis and everything like that. So there's a program where they're trying to get the folks in the video game industry, and they're offering like some big time money if they are willing to help them with this whole notion of air travel because air travel is a major issue that is going on and people are still trying to get from point A to point B and with some of the things going on with the air traffic controller shortage and everything they are actually turning to gamers. So that was an article that the New York Times reported a couple of days ago. I think it was around Friday or over the weekend that avid players of video games have emerged as a target demographic for recruiters at a range of federal agencies including the military and the Department of Homeland Security. So they're trying to fill a national shortage of air traffic controllers, and they're targeting a new talent pool, gamers. So it looks like they're trying to go after
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
folks that promise to convince video game enthusiasts to apply their trigger figures in the service of air safety. So I know you travel a lot. I mean, you do cruises and you do other travel, but would you
Yeah.
be glad to have some people out there controlling your planes that were just their uh, claim to fame and their claim to expertise was that they were good video gamers and everything like that? Because apparently that's what the FAA is targeted, as is the Department of Homeland Security, because they're welcome for their hand-eye coordination, quick decision making in complex environments, and the ability to remain focused on screens for hours on end. So to reach the department, here's what they said, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. To reach the next generation of air traffic controllers, we need to adapt. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said in a statement. Focusing recruiting efforts on gamers, he added, taps into a growing demographic of young adults who have many of the hard skills it takes to be a successful controller. So, but the air traffic experts are noting that gamers have potentially valuable skills. Some question whether the focused recruiting efforts will sufficiently address the agency's wider air traffic staffing problem. So, I don't know about this whole notion of bringing in gamers to control these big planes, but what's your thoughts on this? Because apparently, this is something that the Trump administration is seriously considering.
If they can get proper training and experience, so on. So, what can I say? So, there will be gamers, traffic control, vice versa, probably. And in fact, the travels these days is quite a risky business. Not only the fuel most likely will go up in price, so therefore all traveling options will become more expensive, whether you travel by car or by plane or uh, Probably a lot of people will elect travel by bicycles,
Hmm.
the most affordable transportation.
No, no
Once,
doubt. But what do you think about people that are thinking, and think even President Trump is talking about that this crisis we're having with gas, that it will level off and that it'll come down at some point or another? Because you've got some people that are saying that it's going to level off and things will get better. So do you believe him when he says that, or do you think that we're in for the long haul and we're going to have this problem at least for another couple of months, if not a couple of years, and everything like that? So what is your take with the whole Strait of Hormuz? And apparently we've blockaded them now as well. So what's your take on this whole notion of the
the
blockade?
blockade is not very credible because Chinese ship just went through blockade. Nobody has touched it. So blockade is very questionable. Trump wants to do a taco, so there are more talks are being scheduled this week, next week, whatever. Trump doesn't have a stomach to get 20, 30,000 Americans killed to overcome Iran and to control Iran. That's what's needed, and he cannot go and do it because of the upcoming midterm election, because of many other factors. Without that, you cannot do anything with Iran. So you will just lose the war miserable, and you have to run away while you still can. And that's where it goes. Now about the gasoline prices, I don't think they will go down very quickly. They will go down at some point. I don't think it's we are talking about 2 months. I'm talking about with all the supply getting back, the ships crossing the waters, the refineries will get this new oil, and they have to refine it, they have to deliver it, they have to deliver deliveries. Uh, it will take several months until it will stabilize, and I don't think even in that case the prices will come back to $60 a barrel. They will most likely will come down to 75, maybe even $80. And with that, the inflation will persist, and there's no bright future relief. Even stock market, while it's been up in the last couple of days, I'm not strong believer that it will elevate the U.S. economy. It cannot do that a lot. It can move higher, maybe even higher than it's today. Say tomorrow, I expect tomorrow actually to go higher, and then Thursday, Friday it will start crashing down. So that's where we are, unfortunately.
Speaking of the stock market and everything like that, I know that on usually Wednesdays, but I think we've got reruns for at least another week
Yes,
or two and everything like that. But when will we be
one more
having the?
week,
Hmm?
one more week rerun, yeah, this week.
You said one more week or 2 more weeks?
No, one more week tomorrow rerun, and
Tomorrow,
then I'll
and
be back on next Wednesday.
then we'll come back to regular shows and everything like
Yeah,
that. So that's what I was asking and everything along those lines. Yeah, but a lot of people are wondering about that whole gas situation and all along those lines. And I know a lot of people are worried about the gas situation, even in this area where I'm at, in the Research Triangle Park and everything like that, and also worried about the job market and how AI and this war is impacting the job market as well. So, do you think that we're heading toward either a recession or a depression? Speaking about economics, and if we're heading to either one, when will they be in full effect? Some people think we're already in the middle of a recession, even though I don't think it's been officially declared. But do you think that we're going to be anywhere near a depression in the next year or two?
there's no doubts about that. There will be a recession. There could be even depression as well, but recession for sure. It's on its way, and if somebody will tell you otherwise, you're in you're in trouble. Don't take advice. Just like I'm doing very selective buying of there's a section. Let's see AI stocks. Okay, they moved up, then they're crashing down. Then yesterday this software stock started to move up yesterday. So I bought a bunch of software stocks today, and tomorrow I will sell all of them. I'm not a long-term player at this juncture because there will be definitely a punishment, and I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, that makes sense and everything like that. I got a question for you that based on a YouTube that I saw, and all along those lines. And it's somewhat world politics, but it's more of a sports issue and everything like that. But I was watching Dawn Staley, who was a world-renowned coach and definitely a world-renowned basketball player back in her day and everything like that. She came in second place because UCLA just killed her in the women's championship and everything like that. But they say she's a very aggressive coach and that she'll probably come designing plays. She's probably thinking of plays in her dreams to try to make them come back to glory and everything like that. But she was saying that she didn't necessarily want a WNBA job, but if somebody who had approached her about a professional job that she in the NBA, she would go for it. And apparently she was interviewed by both the Portland Trail Blazers and the New York Knicks. But she also said that it's kind of like the women president, that it would take a while for the culture to get used to having a woman as the coach on a NBA team with all men and everything like that. And I know that you are into chess. Your wife is into chess as well. But do you think that we'll ever have a woman leader in the United States, either as a coach of a professional team or as the president? And if so, how long do you think it will take? Because she was saying that they would have to change the culture of society in order for it to happen. It was an interview on a podcast called The Glass Half Full and everything like that. But it was a fascinating interview because she talked about some of her life lessons learned and a number of other things as I was watching that interview. But she did say that it would take a change of culture in order for there to be an NBA coach that is a woman. But I was wondering, as one that has seen the women chess players, because your wife is one, and as one that has studied women play and the thoughts of women in leadership, because there have been even world leaders that are women leaders, like the lady that runs Italy, I think it is, and a number of other countries. What do you think of the notion of women in leadership?
Let's be practical about something. This world is being run by men.
Mhm.
And for the professional sport, even if you take chess, when there's not much physical activity, but all the leading figures, whether the presidents of national federations or coaches or managers or whoever they are, it's all being run by men. So if you want to see changes, you need, I'd say, 500 years to wait for those changes. So it's not worth even to discuss it.
So it's going to be 500 years and everything like that. As we get ready to wind up, and this has been a fun conversation as always with you, Sasha, and everything like that. But I know that you're saying that America doesn't have the stomach to kill all the amount of people that they would need to kill in order to win the war against Iran. I know that one of the founders of the network keeps saying that we're going to have to do that and everything like that. So it sounds like he's saying that whether we want to or not, we're going to have to sacrifice these 250, 300,000 men and everything like that. But as I've said before, I think that that would cause a upheaval. If they thought the No Kings March was something, I think that the protests against the loss of life would be even bigger than the No Kings protest. That's just my personal opinion. I think that it would be like the Vietnam War, and there'd be a lot of the young generation, Gen Zs and the millennials that would be up in arms, and it might even make the No Kings protest look mild and everything like that. So what is your take on this? One, do we have the stomach to do it? And do you agree with me that if the body count went up, that these protests that we've had, like the No King protest, might be mild in comparison?
Well, whoever people believe that U.S. has to go all in and sacrifice tens, if not 100,000 of lives, let him join the army and go on the front lines and show his bravery instead of using his tongue to spew kind of crazy things. Let him join the army and prove it on the battlefield, whatever he believes he is. Okay?
I agree. It's been a fun conversation. We'll wrap up. It's been about a 30-minute show, which is what I wanted to try to get on this particular show and everything like that. I know we've got Mommy Noni talking about history, because that's the show that comes up at 6. I think we've got a couple of lawyer shows coming up as well, and a number of other shows as well. And I'll see you tomorrow on World Edition. And of course, I've got my online dinner party later on in Wednesday afternoon and everything like that. So there's a number of shows that'll be coming our way here on Pod TV, and actually all 4 channels are going, so you can actually even watch some old sports and everything like that. I think I have a backgammon game up because I've been finding some things that are in the public domain that we can play and everything like that. So I think that one of the things I found was a backgammon championship to go with our coverage of chess. So if there's any other games that you think that I should find to put on our entertainment and events page, let me know. Even if there's some popular concerts of everything like that, you can send it to me in email, or you can let me know right now. But if there's other games that you think that we should be trying to find, because a lot of these are in the public domain. A lot of the associations don't mind if you re-air their stuff and all along those lines. So if there's any other games, because like I said, I did find a backgammon championship, which I think is running today and everything like that.
Okay, Mark. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
So on that note, we get on out of here, and I will catch you at a later time. So have a good one, and enjoy your vacation. You still got another 5 days or 6 days?
Still 6 days, yeah.
6 days. So enjoy your vacation, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, don't forget send me a link.
I will send you the links. All right. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everybody.